Guru Shri Jata Bharakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Zavadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Svaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So, this is the most wonderful occasion for getting Prabhupada's Sangha. The more we feel separation from Srila Prabhupada, the more we are connected with Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, about his own spiritual master, it is not that he is dead and gone. So it is not that Srila Prabhupada is dead and gone. I remember in Atlanta, I think you were there also, Vyasaki. That time Prabhupada cried? Yes, you were there. It was so nice. We had the Panihati festival there in Atlanta, New Panihati Dham. And just after the noon arati, the most amazing thing happened. The Prabhupada deity, sitting on the Vyasa-san, one tear came down from his right eye. Prabhupada was so moved by the devotion of the devotees that he manifested a tear from the deity. Someone called in Jayapataka Swami to have a look, and he confirmed, yes, there is indeed a tear coming from Prabhupada's eye. So then we had Guru Puja, that Prabhupada is here. Prabhupada is here. Prabhupada is here. So, Prabhupada is here. Right now, he is with us. I wanted to share something with you of my own personal experience of Srila Prabhupada, how much he cares for every one of his followers. This happened back in 1971. I was not initiated yet. Prabhupada had gone on the morning, this is Los Angeles, New Dwarka. Srila Prabhupada went on his usual morning walk. They drove the car out to Venice Beach or to Cheviot Hills Park. And then the car drove back to the temple. There used to be a wonderful system in those days. When Prabhupada came back from the walk, we would all line up along the sidewalk. Prabhupada would get out at the sidewalk in front of the temple. He'd walk around the front of the building and go to the back on the side, in the rear. The entrance to his quarters was there. So we would line up, each one of us would have a flower in our hand, and Prabhupada would have a basket of flowers. And you get to have your own personal moment with you and just you and Prabhupada. You would hand him a flower and he would hand you one. It was the most wonderful thing. wow, I get to have my own one-on-one moment with Prabhupada. Maybe 10 seconds, but it's my one-on-one moment with Prabhupada. Everyone got to have it. It was so ecstatic. So I had been recruited by Vishnu John Swami over in a place called Austin, Texas. And I was one of his men. So he got more than a flower. He was the first on line. He got a hug. He got a big hug. Now, I wasn't envious because I was one of his men. I felt I was getting hugged at the same time. When I saw Vishnu John Swami getting that hug, I felt, wow, this is great. My leader is getting a hug from Prabhupada. I was so happy. So I was about the second or third in the queue. I got my flower from Prabhupada. I had my magic moment. Prabhupada looking at Prabhupada, he's looking at me. I got my flower in my hand. Now what to do with this flower? Well, my experience of having Prabhupada's darshan is like this. Because the spiritual master actually resides within the heart of his disciples, you see. So my experience of darshan of Prabhupada was drinking Prabhupada into your heart through your eyes. So I wanted to have a little more darshan. I'd had that moment, that magic moment, getting the flower. Now Prabhupada's going on down the line. And so I decided to just kind of station myself there on the steps in front of the building so I could watch Prabhupada as he came by to go back to his quarters. And I still know, if you meet me in New Dwarka, I'll show you the exact spot where I was standing on the steps at that moment. So anyway, Prabhupada comes by, he's finished handing out all the flowers to all the disciples. He noticed there's this crazy bhakta standing up there, wild character up there. Not in the queue. I wasn't in the flower queue. I was standing up on the steps. And Prabhupada looked up at me. He didn't say anything. It was body language and facial expression. He held up a flower like this, like, you got a flower yet? Prabhupada was so concerned that everyone else would get a flower, that he wanted to make sure I had gotten a flower. I wasn't a leader. I wasn't even initiated. Just a wild renegade character from Texas that was, popped into New Dwarka by the mercy of Krishna. And he wanted to make sure I got a flower. So I was so enlivened. Prabhupada noticed me. He wanted to make sure I got a flower. I held up my flower. I showed him, and I had a big grin on my face, and I just shook my head like this. Yes, Prabhupada, I have my flower. So now if you're a householder, where do you have that flower? You can take it home, make a nice glass case. Your permanent thing, that flower I got from Prabhupada's hand. But you're a brahmachari, what are you going to do? You just put your sleeping bag in the closet at night, sleep on the prasadam room floor. What are you going to do to keep that flower? Well, I had an idea. I'll eat the flower. So I ate the flower, merge it in my body, have it there for some time. So in this way, I could see that Prabhupada really cares about each and every devotee. You don't need to be a big name. You don't need to be a sannyasi or a guru or a GBC or a temple president or a regional secretary. It doesn't matter who you are. If you simply have that sincere desire to serve Srila Prabhupada's mission, Prabhupada cares about you unlimitedly, and he wants to see that you're always happy in Krishna consciousness. So everyone should know that. Prabhupada knows you, he cares about you, he loves you more than anybody has ever loved you in your whole life. I used to get letters from people, it's my friends or maybe pen pals, but those letters that I got from Prabhupada, there's no letters like that. When Prabhupada he cared so much about every single person. When I joined, I really liked it when I joined, because when I joined, anybody could write Prabhupada a letter and get an answer back. I one time asked Vishnu John Swami a question. He said, well, I don't know, why don't you write Prabhupada? So I did. So it was really nice. But then a new policy came in that only the temple presidents, only the GBCs, the sannyasis, only they should write letters. Well, I'd gotten a little addicted to being able to write Prabhupada a letter, and I honestly cheated on the policy, and I wrote Prabhupada a letter. But I didn't put my name on the return address, so hopefully it would get through get through security. and Prabhupada wrote me back the most wonderful letter. He reminded me of the policy. But then he said, but if there's any urgent matter, I'm always happy to hear from my beloved disciples. Wow, I had my loophole. Prabhupada gave me, there was an official policy, but Prabhupada gave me my own personal loophole. If I had an urgent need, I could directly write him, and I did a few more, for another year or two. But then after that, I realized that I don't need to do this anymore. Now, I'm hearing from the sannyasis, GBCs, senior devotees, temple presidents, reading the books. Now I really feel connected with Prabhupada. I don't need to keep writing him these letters, even though he told me I could if there was an urgent need. So in this way, just understand that Prabhupada cares about each and every one of you. He loves you more than anybody. And there's two things, I'll conclude now. I know we're on a tight time frame. There's two things that Prabhupada especially wants, and they're actually summarized in the 5th canto purport, Prabhupada translation of Bahirna Singha Hridayena Singha. Nishinga within, Nishinga without, you see. So these are the two things we have to focus on as Prabhupada Nugas. We have to awaken Hridayena Singha. We have to awaken the Krishna consciousness within our heart. Prabhupada said, be so pleasing to Krishna, he will personally come and talk with you and bless you. Internally, that's what we have to be doing. We have to be focused on coming to that level where Krishna revealed himself to us. And externally, Bahirna Singha, we have to, Prabhupada said, he told us in Los Angeles, become guru and deliver the whole world. We cannot rest easy until every man, woman, child, in every country of this world is Krishna conscious. That is our duty. We have to live for that. Some of us are even talking about taking birth after birth to be able to do that until the whole world becomes Krishna conscious. I thank you very much for your dedication to Srila Prabhupada's movement. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.